one shot at a time.
Welcome back to the Enjoy the Walk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Who better to bring in the summer weather, the hot heat, the Carolina Blues, I guess we could say too, than a man himself, the salty golfer, Wes Loman. We've been in contact with him, I think, from the jump of our podcast, and it's been cool to see him share our story on his stories on Instagram. He was, I think, the first one to hook us up to Alexa and get us going on Alexa, so that was really cool. And just really appreciate what Wes has done for us in our podcast. So really happy to have him on. Wes, how are things down there in the southern states?
Hot. Just hot. And then a little more hot. Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me on. And like you said, I've been following you guys since day one, and really cool to see how you guys have grown the podcast and really follow you guys daily. So.
Boy, it's been an absolute pleasure. I think from our side of things too, just to see you grow your own brand and to the collaborations you've been able to do over the last few months, which I'm sure we'll get into, and just the passion for the game and kind of, you down in the Carolinas and us, hooking up with the Bag Tour and even some of the guys down there that we've seen you cross paths with over, the last few months. It's really awesome to see that, like, golf kind of has no boundaries when it comes to, you start jumping on social media, it becomes a small world very quick for people who truly love the game as much as we do. And it's been fun to see.
Yeah, for sure. We all follow the same people, right, on the gram. So it does have that family mentality with it. And there's enough to go around. So it's not like, I don't know, it's not like any other, like, business or if you need something, hey, I'll share my secrets with you and here's where I got this, and take it and go with it. And I have no issues with someone that's wanting to start out and create their own brand or swag. And I get DMs all the time saying, hey, where did you do that? How did you do that? Where did you get started? And this is how I did it. And so, you're more than welcome to use anything I've used to try to get yourself there. So
that's the one thing I always notice about the golf industry, I think in general too, especially now, I think more than, maybe in years past, is the fact that, like, it's just everyone can eat at the table. There's not a, well, you're stealing from me, or, you're taking food out of my mouth. The golf industry is just growing, I think, tenfold, yes, since Tiger's return even. I just think golf's starting to get that kind of hip mentality to it too, where all these little niche markets are popping up. There's so much room in it that we all can thrive.
Yeah, and the thing about golf is there's different levels of it, right? So you have the guy that plays 6 times a year, the guy that plays 4 times a week, the guy that's a serious amateur that is playing in a lot of USGA events and match play tournaments and club championships. And then you got a guy that plays golf to decompress, to not put the stress on him. So yeah, it's just like with the PGA Tour, they have a big opportunity to get a lot of new viewers right now, with them being basically, other things are cranking up, but golf's always got storylines. I really wish the PGA Tour would develop those storylines a little bit more. But you could get a lot of things going, a lot of people that would not normally watch golf if they would, I think that they have a real opportunity this summer.
Oh, absolutely. It's really cool how you said, there's so many different types of people who golf too. And, whether it's the decompressed kind of guy, or it's the guy that just gets out with his dad, 6 times a year or even less than that. I'm really interested to see, just because I know where you're at now as far as the game of golf and kind of the vibe you have. Where did it all start for you? Like, how did you first get introduced to the game, and what led you to be what you are now within the industry?
Yeah, so sports were always a part of our life growing up. I played football, basketball, baseball, ran the gamut, played them all, played basketball at a very high level. And but golf was always in the family. So my father is a minister, and his father is a minister. And so every other year we have a massive family vacation with all the family. And my dad has 3 brothers, and so my pawpaw was probably one of the most competitive men I've ever met in my life. he loved the game of golf, just absolutely loved it. Was a very good amateur golfer. So he started, I don't even know the year. I'm guessing probably in the late 60s when they started going on the family vacations. We had what we call the Loman Open, and he got a trophy. It was, probably 4 or 5 feet high. And every other year, the family vacation was based around a golf venue, a resort or somewhere where there was a golf course. And we had what we call the Loman Open. And the only way you could get into it was you either had to be blood, you had to be 13 years old, or you had to marry into the family. So it was all handicapped. If you won it, you got to take the trophy home, and Granddad would embroider he would put your name on the trophy, and then you got to keep that trophy for the year, and then you brought it back to the next vacation. And that just kind of started my love of the game of golf. And I got out of it a little bit when I was playing high school ball and college ball. And then I really got back into it, I guess, right after Katie and I got married in 2002. And it was really kind of the last thing I could be competitive in, because your body starts to give out, but your mentality and the willingness and want to compete doesn't stop, I don't think. So, and I wasn't going to get hurt playing in has-been basketball leagues and stuff like that. So I just really tried to get as good as I could at golf. I just really embraced it. I was like, look, if I'm going to do this, let's get as good as we can get. And let's start entering in some tournaments. Let's really kind of challenge yourself, because it's uncomfortable. Like, I'm 6'8", 290 pounds. I'm not your average looking golfer. Beard, I wear Hawaiian shirts. I mean, you go into those USGA events looking like that, you get those looks like, why in the world is he here? But that was always kind of I didn't like that. I want people to understand that anyone can play golf. You can be a country club kid. You can be a kid who didn't have a whole lot growing up, but golf's for everyone. And the game of golf. I know this is going to sound cliche, but the game of golf can teach you so much about life and life lessons. I mean, it's the only game, right, that we call penalty on ourselves, right?
It's crazy to me, and it's like I just had to jump in because what you said there is like I feel like that's the only maybe stigma around the game still is like, oh, you have to be the country club kid to like grow up and play great golf. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, you can be the kid at the local muni. You can be the kid who just grew up with a hand-me-down set and is playing in his bare feet. You can be really the game is so over encompassing that like I love that you mentioned that, because I think like there's still a large majority of people out there that just look at the pros because that's the only thing they see on TV, and they say, well that's what you got to be. And it's like, well, no, there's the other, like, 95% of people out there who just love to play the game and play it in all sorts of ways and fashions.
Yeah, I mean, we had a local muni growing up, and where we lived, it was kind of nice because our house was kind of near the golf course. And I can remember me and my buddy, we would go like at 7:30 at night, and we'd loop 16, 17, and 18 without anybody knowing it. We'd just play it, and literally in the dark. And that's just, playing golf until the sun goes down, and it's your local community. If there's a putting green, I mean, they can't stop you from coming up there and putting, or chipping and all that stuff. So I think that we have to do a better job in letting people know that, hey, golf is not just for the elite. You can be whatever and still. I think Harold Varner is a good. He tells the story great. I mean, if those kids, if those older gentlemen up at his local community didn't take him under his wing and say, hey, it's okay, you can play here, you belong here, you got a great swing, he might not have gotten that chance and been able to do what he's done with the game of golf.
I think there's so many too. There's so many stories out there, whether they're just starting to surface on the PGA Tour. There's a lot of guys I know with that story down on like the Korn Ferry Tour, or, before all COVID hit, the Canadian Tour or the Latin America Tour. There's a lot of guys out there that, if you look back and they kind of tell their story, there was one person or a group of people that said, hey, like, it's okay. You can play. Like, we want you to play. And if it weren't for those group of people, these kids might not have had a chance to be great like they are now.
Sure.
And it's crazy to me that it takes a group of people to make that decision. But then on like the exact kind of vice versa, I'm so thankful that golf has those kind of groups of people in it that are so all encompassing, and to say, listen, if that kid wants to love it as much as we do, we're going to give them every chance in the world to go compete and go succeed.
Yeah, I think the beach too, and down here. So we live, it's called the Grand Strand, which is about a 60-mile trek from Charlotte, North Carolina, down to Paulie's Island, Georgetown, South Carolina. And we have 85 to 90 golf courses in that stretch. And if you're 18 and under and you're playing with an adult, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. So they really try to cater to growing the game down here, which I absolutely love. Hootie and the Blowfish has a tour down here, and it's played on Mondays during the summer, and it's a kids league. And so I really appreciate how they're growing the game here in Myrtle Beach and trying to. Yes, we're a resort city, and yes, we're a resort town, but they're doing their part for the local people to grow the game down here, which is, I absolutely love that.
Now I love what you just mentioned, because we went back and forth on this a couple months ago. The resort town, the resort courses. Yeah. You for a solid, I think, 2 or 3 weeks after we mentioned that, tagged us in every course that you were at that was not a resort course, that was hashtag we aren't just resort golf. Let's dive into that, because I loved it, man. I know there's great golf down there. Aside from like, your barefoot landing and, your Pete Dye courses down there that have like the recognition of being your resorts, what is the other side like? Like, what is the awesome kind of hidden gems that Myrtle Beach has that, really don't get talked about too much?
So like everything is a package deal down here. If you're coming down for a vacation or a guy's trip or whatever, or a girl's trip for that. But there's just so many to choose from. So your Kings North, your Arnold Palmer courses, they're going to get to play. Your barefoot courses are going to get to play. But down on the south end where I live, down near Merle's Inlet and Paulie's Island, we have got some freaking gems down here. We have 2 Mike Strantz golf courses, True Blue and Caledonia, which I play as much as I can. They don't get a lot of. I get some package play, but I mean they're on up there in price. But you have like, I live right behind me. I've got a golf course called Blackmore, which is a Gary Player design, which is just an absolutely great golf course. Small greens, hard greens, kind of target golf, a lot of risk reward, a lot of great mounding behind the greens. It's just it's where I practice. That's the course I practice on. Let's see, we've got Paulie's Plantation down here on the south end, which is a Jack Nicklaus design. He never broke par there. It was built in '86. He never broke par.
Wow.
That's what I've heard. And the scorecards that they've got posted in the clubhouse, he ain't broke par on those. So I'm sure if he had broke par, he'd have put those up.
That'd have been first in the clubhouse, no doubt.
Yeah. So there's a couple in there where he shot par, but there's just so much to choose from. It. They've got family friend, just courses that you can play as the family. That's not difficult, and then you got TPC right here that you can tip it out at 7,200 yards. So there's just a wide variety of golf courses down here. And the great thing about down here is each golf course, this is one thing that frustrates me about some golf courses, is they never have the correct tee boxes, or they don't have enough tee boxes.
Yes.
Okay. So down here, you've got anywhere from 5 to 8 tee boxes. And literally on most courses down here, it says, if your handicap is between this and this, play this tee box.
Mm-hmm.
If your handicap is between this and this, play this tee box, which is nice because some people don't know. And it's funny. I don't play from the tips all the time. I'm a 3.9 handicap. I usually play 1 up. And it's so funny to see these guys that are, it says in the on the internet that the average golfer shoots 100. That's what an average golfer is.
Yeah, if you break 100, you're better than the average golfer in the United States of America. Yep.
So I think more people would break 100 if they stopped teeing off for the champions and the blues back there, right?
Yeah,
it really makes the game a lot more fun if you can actually give yourself a chance to score. Why would you play from the blues or the blacks if you play 4 times a year?
I've got a great story for you on about this tee placement thing. So there's a phenomenal course down here. They actually call it the Augusta of the North. That was when they bought it. That's what they coined, or when they built it, I should say. That's what they coined it. It's called Baywood Greens up in Delaware, and they have this tour only kind of set of tees. And me being like, a recently graduated, fresh young adult, kind of just finally getting into like the one almost scratch handicap. Like, well, I want to go play there. Well, supposedly you had to have a quote unquote tour card. They only let guys with tour cards play it. But through a little schmoozing and through a little, back and forth, I let the head pro let me play from back there. I'm recording currently on like a nice dinner table. If the tees were bigger than this dinner table, I would be surprised. They were just freshly cut little squares, like all the way back in the depth. So the head pro comes out, the cart guys come out. Everybody comes out because like they haven't seen a guy play the tour tees in God knows how long. And I tee off my first tee shot far right, out of bounds, as far as you could possibly put one. And I'm looking back at these guys, like not looking them in the eyes, because I'm like, I just convinced you for 25 minutes to go let me play the tour tees. And my first tee shot, far right out of bounds. We kept it into navigational beacons after that, but it was funny.
Yeah. So it's funny to me because I play a lot of golf, a lot of guys, and we'll see guys and not to make fun of anybody, but it's just funny. You're like, man, you guys would probably have such a better time if you'd move up 2 tee boxes.
Yep.
It's funny, but yeah. So there's Willbrook Plantation. So Willbrook Plantation, Paulie's Plantation. There's a couple other golf courses, and they're just rich with history. So those courses are built on Civil War time rice plantations. That Caledonia, I think, is the same way. It was built on an old plantation property. So, and there's posts and signs throughout the course that tells you like, hey, this was here and this person. And there's even at Willbrook, there's remnants of the old plantation home. There's the chimney is still there from the old home that was on that property. So it's just, there's tons of history down here. And I soak all that up too. And you can play as hard golf as you want down here or as easy golf as you want down here, which is what's so great about, I don't know, Myrtle Beach. I'm sold on Myrtle Beach. I don't think I'll ever go anywhere else.
Well, I love that you mentioned little remnants. I'm currently moving apartments right now. My apartment doesn't have Wi-Fi set up, so my home club, Glen Riddle, is where I'm actually recording right now. This is the original horse farm of where Seabiscuit and War Admiral and Man of War were bred. So there's so much history too here. I'm looking out the window here. The original water tower that kind of fed the grounds is still up. They have the original horse gates out on like hole 5 and 6 of Man of War. It's cool to walk places like this where there's so much history involved. And you even come into Clubhouse here, they have all the newspaper clippings of, the horse races and this, that, and the other. And I love to hear that, there's places like that down by you too, because I think it makes the experience for people, especially that come out of town, that, it's not just a golf course. It's a full kind of experience when you get to walk on these properties.
Yeah, when like Paulie's Plantation, the course in Jackville down here, it's amazing to me how he's got three and a half holes that are literally right on the marsh, but he had to build them onto the marsh. Like he was able to visualize that and see it and make that happen. There's a hole out there, I think it's number 13 or 14, and they call it the shortest par 5 on the Grand Strand. It's all carry. It's like 130 yards, but you get the wind coming in off the ocean, and you just, I've hit anywhere from gap wedge to 6-iron because the wind is nuts right there. And then you go up north to Tidewater. Have you played Tidewater?
I have not.
Okay, so its nickname is the Pebble Beach of the East,
Oh, wow.
And the gentleman, I cannot remember who was the architect, but it was his one and only build. He was a tax collector out of Columbia, South Carolina, and he must have been a really good, not tax collector, tax lawyer. He must have been a really good lawyer because he made a really good golf course. And it's one of the I think it's the hardest golf course on the Grand Stream because you've got 6 holes coming in off of the marsh and the ocean, and you get that wind whipping down there, and the greens are fast and hard. It's always in great shape. We played there on Friday of last week with the boys from Birdies and Bourbon podcast. They came
love it.
down and we played with them. Yeah. And it's so cool because I get so many DMs from so many different people saying, hey, we're coming down on vacation. Where do we play? Do you want to play with us? And absolutely, let's go tee it up. And that's what this is kind of evolved into for me. It's almost like, hey, we're not sure where to go, so I've kind of become like a guide for them to help them get them in the right spots.
Yeah,
I get invited to play with them too. It's even better. So.
Well, I know. I just know from what we've talked, Dante and I both have played the resort golf down there. We want to get down when we come down to your neck of the woods, the Paulie's Island area. We want to get to Caledonia. We want to get to the hidden gems. We want the salty golfer tour guide experience. You know, we want those gems that you've been telling us about for a while, and are hopefully going to do that here in the fall. It's on the list, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And it's nice. I always I've got 2 really good buddies that help me out, Matt Lawless and Kenny Link, and we usually play every weekend together. And then when we have people come in, they come and play too. So it's a good time, man. And we just have a good, might be a little skins action on the side or a little Nassau or whatever that person wants to do that's coming down. I just want them to have a good time and for the golf to leave a good taste in their mouth so they'll want to come back and do it again sometime. Yeah, so it's I tell everybody that I think some people are a little nervous maybe, but I don't care if you're 25 handicap. I don't care if you're a +2. Let's just go have some fun. Because
let's play this game how it was meant to be played by having fun.
yeah. Like I want to beat you. I want to beat you for sure, but we're gonna have fun doing it. We're gonna have a couple of beers afterwards, and we're gonna have a good time. And because for me, I want to play the best golf I can, but I want to have a really good hang too.
That's what dude. I tell you what, there's been some rounds where I know I've played really well, and I know who I've been playing with has played really well, but it was just a bad experience. Like it was just, there's something to be said about. Yes, playing good golf at a good place, whether it's a good resort course or a good kind of hidden gem, whatever it is. But if you're with the wrong people, I don't care how nice the course is, it's not going to be fun. That's just the scenario at hand is you have to kind of have like-minded people to really make the experience unforgettable.
Yeah. Because we're so busy down here, if you've only got 2 people in your group, you're going to get paired with somebody. So you might as well invite me to come play with you. So that way, at least you got somebody you halfway know playing with you.
I know when I first moved down here, Ocean City, Maryland, everything down here is package golf as well. If you're a single, you're packing up with 3 others. It's just there ain't no other way to cut it. And it was cool because, I met so many awesome people that way too. And I feel like, now, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I feel like it's the same in your neck of the woods. But the package golf, when you are a single or a double and get packed up with 2 other people, 95% of the time, you're with great individuals. You have a phenomenal time. It's that maybe even less than 5%. That's
usually
issue.
Never an issue. It's usually never an issue. Yeah, for sure. Because, most people are on vacation anyway. So they're like, we're having a good time anyway. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's really not much of an issue. But you will in peak season down here. There's a good chance you're going to be paired with another 2, some or 3 if you're a single. So.
Well, that's just par for the course, but I think that's kind of the mystique about the game of golf. That's how you meet people that love the game as much as you do. And, chances are if you're a single, you love the game enough to go out there by yourself and take the chance.
For sure. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Now,
Yeah, I played with a bunch of people I didn't know before. Like, because we used to vacation down here all the time before I moved down here, and
yep.
my wife loves the game of golf, and she'd go ride with me, but she doesn't play. But so, I was always being, that weird single in the threesome.
Yep. Hey, that builds character, man. I don't care what you say. I've
Yeah,
been there.
for
I've done
sure.
that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. So, I mean, we've talked so much here in the last, half an hour or so about, the Myrtle Beach area, the Pawleys Island area. Let's dive into kind of your brand, the Salty Golfer, and when it started. What brought that upon itself to say that's going to be my little niche in this market? Because I, for one, love it.
Yeah. So it's really a simple story. Katie and I, we owned a hat and T-shirt company called Old North State Clothing Company, and we made hats and T-shirts with nautical type themes. Thought that was something that we were really passionate about. After doing it for about 2 years, we decided we weren't really passionate about it at all. And someone offered us to buy the business and the equipment we had, and it was a deal that I couldn't pass up. So we sold all the equipment, all the embroidery machines and stuff like that. But I wanted to keep the Instagram page. So I was like, well, I love the ocean. I play golf. So let's just call it the Salty Golfer. And fast forward to, I think it was January 2018 or 29, I can't remember. But I created a sticker, the OG sticker with the mohawk and the sunglasses, and put Salty Golfer across the sunglasses, and threw it out on Instagram. Does anybody want these? They were gone in a week. And I was like, that's interesting. So,
well, hot damn.
Yeah, hot dang. I can't believe that happened. And so then just started playing golf and just kind of taking pictures of courses I was playing. And then we got the opportunity through my job to move down to Myrtle Beach. And like I said, our family owns a condo in Myrtle, but then we still have that. But, then we moved on down here to Myrtle's Inlet. And started talking so I met Matt Lawless through Instagram and Kenny Link, and they're members of the Friars Club, not Friars Club. Yeah, Friars Club, the kind of traveling thing. So Matt was like, hey, let's play golf sometime. He lives in Wilmington, and Kenny lives in Charleston. So we meet in Myrtle Beach and play golf.
Smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle. Sometimes we'll go further north to help out Matt, and sometimes we'll go further south to help out Kenny. And so I started bouncing ideas off of them, and then so I don't know if you know this, but Kate and I have 5 kids together. So
yes, sir.
So there's five girls, and so I didn't want to invest a ton of money into this because I just want to have kind of this is kind of fun. So see what's. So Kenny, he said, hey, let me partner up with you. I'll help you out, and because I love your ideas, and let's just see where it goes. So so it's like, all right, well, I need to revamp my logo. I got to get something better because literally the first one, I went to free clip art and just found that face, and then cut out some sunglasses and move those onto the face.
Dude, I'm telling you what, for the way you're describing this process, that first logo came out pretty hot for what it was.
So it was very, and the same thing with the squid. That was all, I found that on a free paste and cut site, and that
blows my mind because that squid's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I found that on a free clip art. I couldn't tell you what webpage. I think I might have just put in squid free clip art in the Google search.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off right there real quick because if our listeners don't follow you yet, guys, go to Instagram at the Salty Golfer. You can check out all these logos he's talking about. He just ran some towels with the squid logo that he's talking about. Just scroll through his Instagram. He's done some awesome stickers, some golf tees with that squid. For the way you're describing that squid is kind of just like a throw together logo. You've done some pretty sweet stuff with it, man.
Yeah, so it's I'm not an artist at all. I'm not an artist by no means. I know what I want. I think I have good ideas, but I have to someone has to do it for. So the logo that kind of just took off and kind of got this to the next level was the face logo that said Salty Golfer in the beard. And great story about that. So I've been buying product from a company called Slacker Tide. Richard is the owner. He does a lot of golf stickers and fishing stickers, right?
When I first stumbled upon Slacker Tide, I thought this guy does the most off the wall, like fishing and golf related kind of mashups. And I hit follow immediately because I was like, this is just something where like it's so kind of like niche, but I love it. I have to see what he does next.
He's down in Florida. He'll tell you the same thing. I'm like, man, I follow your brand. I absolutely love it. It's like so inspiring. He's like, it's so funny to hear people say that because all I'm doing is drawing pictures. Like, dude, well, so anyway, I started.
You know how many of us can't draw? So that alone.
Right. So I was talking to him and said, hey, Richard, and we kind of, built a pretty good relationship through Instagram. And I said, hey, I need some help. I know you do commission work. There's my idea. What can you do for me? So let me rewind for just a second. So 2 or 3 weeks before that happened, I get this box in the mail from Slacker Tide. And it's got 2 or 3 hats in it, all the stickers in the world, some golf balls with the Slacker Tide logo, probably about $150 worth of merch. So I DM'd him immediately. I said, Richard, I think a box got sent to me by accident. I didn't order any of this stuff. He said, no, man, you've been such an awesome customer. I just wanted to say thank you. So that segued into the next thing. I was like, well, I'm going to give him some work. And his commissions are between $300 and $600 depending on the commission work. So I said, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I want to do. He goes, okay, give me a couple of weeks. And I got some other stuff to do. And I didn't think anything of it. So about a week and a half later, I get an email from him, and it's that logo. I said, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I don't want to change anything. This is exactly what I want. And I said, where do I Venmo the money? He goes, nah, bro, you're good. He said, this is my gift to you. This is me paying it back. Do with it what you want. This one's on me. So I feel like it's my duty when someone who's just upstarting or wants to do the same thing. I can't draw anything for you, but I can get you in front of the right people.
You can point in the right direction and say, hey, I know who can.
Absolutely. And who do I use? I don't keep any of that secret. I mean, I use Imperial for all my hats. I use the Winston collection for all my towels and head covers and stuff. And so then we did the Flamingo and the surf van.
That surf van was killer.
Sick. Just absolutely sick. So I had that idea. That idea was probably 5 years old because I had that idea we actually did a similar t-shirt with the old North State company. But I thought, when I was making that t-shirt, I was like, boy, how cool would it be if we put a golf bag on top of that surfboard? And that would just be sweet. And so then I reached out to Thomas Creations, Seth Thomas. And I said, hey, man, I know you're trying to get into the golf game. I've seen some of the stuff you've done, like you've drawn for Muni kids and stuff like that. Here's my idea. You want to get in on this? He said, yeah, what are you thinking? So I sent him the idea for the Flamingo and the surf van. I think 48 hours later, he popped back with some stuff. We tweaked some things, and boom, it's doing that. And I said, what I owe you? And he goes, no, I'm just trying to get into this business. So just spread the word. And you can ask anybody. There's been a bunch of people that said, hey, I need a logo. I said, go see Seth. And what's so cool about Seth was not only did he draw that stuff, but he bought some of the stuff too. And I gave him some stuff too to say thank you. I couldn't have done it without him. And I've done a lot of giveaways and stuff like that. And the people that give away, I'll always try to buy something from them too. I tell you
the same thing with us, man. We got so lucky when we were first setting up our website. The first website we ever did, it was kind of my second ever website I've ever done. So through the line of just meeting people in the industry. Shout out to our guy, Trevor Larson. He works ground crew out in the kind of Northern California area. He's like, hey, man, I've worked on a lot of websites before. Here's my input. Here's what I think you should do. And he's like, I ended up giving him our logins and just saying, hey, if you want to tweak some stuff, go tweak some stuff. I'll pay you or whatever. So he gets done with it. It looks banging. And he just goes, hey, my pleasure. I want to help you guys out. So we sent him some free merch. We sent him some T-shirts, some tees, some stickers, some shirt, just like, I was like, dude, I'm not letting this go not, appreciated, because it's guys like that. And the same in your situation, the guys that end up paying it forward, we have to do the same. It's only right. Yeah. And it's so cool. And I think in a growing little niche industry like this kind of golf little, whether it's you or whether it's me or whether it's, I don't even know what else to kind of like mention, but it's just like, it's the little brands that like people love, man. It's like that little niche stuff that they're not going to find in the OEMs of TaylorMade, Strixon, Titleist, like
you're not going to go in the PGA Superstore and find it, right?
No, sir. Exactly.
And we don't want it. We don't want it that way.
Nope.
Like I love the fact that all my stuff is small batches. So that 30 to 50 people that get it, guess what? It's stamped to that date, and they're the only ones that are going to have it.
100%.
And when I get the DMs like, hey, do you got any hats left or any bottles? It's like, sorry, bro, I don't. These things went like that. I mean, you just have to see what we do next.
That was the cool thing. That was the cool thing about we did this like kind of octagonal like logo, a shield, we called it. And we did 10 hats of like, we did 3 separate styles of 10 hats. And I ended up giving the last 2 away to the first tee of Baltimore last weekend. But they were gone in no time. And people keep asking me like, well, where's those dad hats at? Well, I was like, well, they were one of 10. And when they're gone, they're gone. We're gonna figure out what works next and do that. But like, I don't want.
Remember the 17 posts I posted about them? That's where they were, and now they're all gone.
Amen on that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, get them while they're hot, right?
Yeah. So I need a quick plug. So next week, or maybe into this week, I haven't decided yet. So I did a big collab with Sneakerhead Golf. So we've got some.
Oh, I saw his sneakers that are matching that van. Oh, baby, let's go.
So we're doing head covers, driver, fairway, hybrid, alignment stick covers, and tee bags. And those tee bags are fire. So, and we just did I think we did 7 of each, I think. So they're not gonna. That's just all the fabric we had. So they're not gonna last super long. And then Moxie sticks. Those boys, you got to check them out too, because they are doing some stuff. And I love what they're doing, because their alignment sticks have a story, which is really cool. Like the ones that we're doing for the Salty Golfer, they're from an old pre-Civil War house. They were taken off the deck of a house and repurposed.
Wow.
So this really cool stuff. So, but yeah, it's just really taken off. Like it's really cool. And sometimes it doesn't seem real. I'm sure you're the same way sometimes when you get comments or messages about the pod and stuff.
I had someone, I kid you not, and Dante was with me when this happened. We were actually at the Barstool Classic. We were playing in the qualifier. And one of the videographers for Barstool Sports comes up to us. We were wearing our Enjoy the Walk stuff. We were all branded out and Enjoy the Walk for the day. And he goes, "You guys from Enjoy the Walk?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, oh, we know about you. He's like, no, we know about you. And I was like, excuse the French, but I was like, get the F out of here. Like,
right.
You don't know about us. I was like, we have like 1,500 followers. We're nothing. It's like, no. He's like, you're a golf podcast. He's like, I know exactly who you are. And that just like, it was kind of one of the things like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, I didn't feel like we were big enough in the space that we were in, even as, kind of what we've seen people share and like and everything. Like, I don't know. It's humbling, and it's like, it's so cool, man. When people like that love golf as much as we do recognize your love for golf too, there's just that kind of like unspoken, I get you moment.
Right. Yeah. So Katie and I went out to eat the other night to this little burger joint out on the ocean called River City. And we're walking up the stairs to go in, and so it's a place where you can bring your own, like an old license plate and hang it up. You can write your name on the wall or whatever. So I'm literally opening the door, and my face sticker is right inside on the wall. I'm like, what? Who put that there? So then
Go.
we went out and ate on the balcony, and then the flamingo sticker and the van sticker was stuck on the post, and it said Salty was here underneath it. So I was like, what is going on? So I snapped a picture of it and I sent it to Seth over at Thomas Gray. I said, look, dude, we are in the wild. It's like, it's just really cool to see those things. And I on the last drop, sent stuff to the UK. I mean, what? The UK?
That's incredible.
I send more stuff to California than I think I do to North Carolina.
You know, it's funny, man. Our first ever giveaway, I kid you not, this was back around like, I think this was maybe 500 followers. I think this was the giveaway. We had actually multiple followers from like New Zealand and Australia enter for this thing. And it's like, dude, I mean, how gifted are we in this time to have the social media? I mean, I know like people, I feel like sometimes take it for granted or laugh at you when you like recognize the gift of social media, but it truly is a gift. Like there's people from Japan, from China, from anywhere in the world that can stumble upon your page, my page, our page, you know, whatever, and say, well, hey, I like that. I'm going to follow.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for advertising either, right? I mean,
no.
That day's over where you got to, I mean, you can, but you don't really have to anymore.
I mean, it's just so cool, man. We're in such a great time for what we're trying to do and just the little niche stuff, man. It's a great time to attack it, man. And I'm excited that, you know, brands like you and Sneakerhead and the Alignment Sticks, Moxie Sticks, you said, are just, you know, getting together. And that's what it's all about. And you're using Winston, you're using Imperial, kind of the household names too. It's like, you know, what better opportunity can we possibly have than to brand up with these kind of name brands and the new guys as well, and do something that just gets everybody in the mix.
For sure. Yeah, it's really fun to see and watch, and like Hot Birdie Golf, it's fun to watch. And what happened to her kind of stuff. I just woke up one morning and her Instagram page was just
that forever blows my mind, and why people do that to brands like that. I mean, it's sickening, and I hope for the love of Lord that it does not happen to anybody I know personally. I don't know Hot Birdie personally, but even that to see it to happen to her when we've messaged back and forth a couple times, like you just don't want to see that ever.
Right. So yeah, it's a really cool community that we're all a part of, and it's nice that we can all, you know, scratch each other's back if we need it and give each other support. And, you know, there's no hate for me. I mean, there's for anybody. I want to see everybody succeed. And you know, if it's something I dig, I'm going to post it on my page for you or on my stories. You know, that's the way I am. And if I dig it a lot, I'm gonna buy it. So
yeah, it's the same way for us, man. If we like something, we're gonna share it, whether it's a fellow competitor. I mean, you know, we and this is funny too. We actually have met with a lot of their marketing department and one of their owners as well. But True Links, who has they've started the hashtag Enjoy the Walk. We really didn't know it when we started, but we've met with them, talked with them, and they're cool with it, you know, because they kind of said the same thing. We're not making shoes like True Links is making shoes. You know, we're not even in the same market. And even if we were, they kind of said the same thing to us. It was like, you know how many mouths there are out to feed? You know, it's just like, let's be better for the game of golf. And, you know, if you guys are using the Enjoy the Walk, then great. Like we're not trademarked Enjoy the Walk on anything. You know, we're True Links. So it was cool to see a huge brand, which I think True Links is really starting to become with all their footwear and everything. And to kind of hear them say, listen, like, let's just grow it together. I think we need a lot more mentality like that. And I think we're starting to see it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really like the platform I have. I just really like that people are taking the advantage of. And I'm serious when I say, if you're down here, DM me, because chances are I can get you a deal on a golf course and we can go have a really good time, and I can save you some money too. So it's really our slogan. It's all about sandy bars and tiki bars. We're going to play the best golf we can, and we're going to get a cold drink when we're done. or maybe a cold drink while we're playing. Who knows? So
A little bit
it's
of both
just,
never hurt anybody.
yeah, never hurt anybody. So it's just really cool just to see how the salty golfer is kind of becoming kind of like a lifestyle brand for me. I mean, it's really how I live day to day. It's just and the goal is, and I'll go ahead and share this with you. So probably next year, and I've already put some feelers out, and I've got a lot of people on board and interested with some good sponsors and stuff like that. We're just going to throw a huge salty party. So next year we're going to do a 4-man scramble. You bring your own team in, because down here it'll cost you about $500 for 3 rounds of golf and your lodging, which is completely doable. So we'll have a big party on Wednesday night with a band and food, and then we'll do a 4-man scramble handicap on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with big cash payouts. And bring your own team, and just have a massive party as soon as all this COVID crap is over with. So
yeah. Once we get through
that's
this,
a whole nother podcast, right?
Hey, I know, God willing, we will. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But I tell you what, when you let that happen, when you make it happen, let's make one of those rounds walking rounds only, and Enjoy the Walk will be there. We'll sponsor the entire day, and we'll get some walking feels going on that, some Sunday bag specials.
Well, that would be. Maybe we should hold that out for Saturday to see who the real players are. But that's probably not a good idea. People would bail on that. Yeah, we could figure something out for sure.
Yeah,
I just think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, that would be phenomenal. Obviously, everyone knows Myrtle Beach and the surrounding area is just kind of the mecca of golf trips. Everyone heads there, everyone goes there. So if you're doing an event with your brand, with your lifestyle, I know it's going to be a hit, and I can't wait to see it happen.
Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yes, sir, man.
So much.
Well, hey, Wes, I appreciate you joining us, man. I know we went a little longer than I expected, but seriously, appreciate your time. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally got it done.
Boys, to get down to you, man. It's going to be a fun time when we get together.
Yeah, for sure. Hurry up already, all right?
Hey, we'll do our best. This little virus they call COVID-19 put a little hiccup in the plans of everything this year, but we'll get down there, no doubt about it. And when we do, we'll let the people know so we can get some solid content for sure.
So yeah, we're everything's still open down here. They do a really good job at all the courses. If you want to ride by yourself, they let you ride by yourself. They ask you to wear a mask in the clubhouse. They don't ask you to wear a mask on the golf course. Everything's wiped down and all that jazz. So they do a really good job of making sure the customers feel safe for whatever they need to feel.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I feel the same way here at Glen Riddle in Maryland, Ocean City, Maryland. We've just been phenomenally kind of blessed with the staff and everything here. We actually, I think last week had a positive kind of ringing around within the building here. They went back for another test, closed it down for 2 days, ended up being a false positive. It was a negative. So we're back and open. So,
imagine that.
Yeah, things are crazy.
Whole nother podcast.
Amen on that. Anybody listen to Andy Frisella, you can take a listen to that one. But for another day, another time. But Wes, seriously, appreciate you joining us, man. It's been an absolute blast. I love your brand. I love what you're doing. If you guys can go follow him at The Salty Golfer for any of his drops or merchandise or stuff like that. I know you said you pairing up a sneakerhead here soon. Guys, go check that out. There's a very, very limited quantity there. So first come, first serve. Get it or you don't. So, Wes, man, it's awesome what you're doing. Thank you so much for the time.
Brother, thanks for having me. We'll do it again real soon, okay?
Amen to that. Thanks again, man. Guys, if you can go check us out as well and you want to follow along with Wes's story as we post this, it'll be at Enjoy the Walk Pod on Instagram and Twitter, as well as following our YouTube page, Enjoy the Walk Podcast. You guys can find the video version of this audio on our YouTube page. So, guys, thanks for following. As always, get out there, carry your clubs, and enjoy the walk. All right, guys, as we said, Wes Loman, the Salty Golfer. Dante, what a way to cap off and to kind of hit the ground running with our Season 2, Episode 1 here. We've seen 63 episodes go by, I think, in the blink of an eye in Season 1. And to have our little midsummer break, you went off the grid. I changed addresses. Here we are, season 2. We're back at it, man. Enjoy the Walk podcast is here with it. We got a lot to catch up on, and I think a lot to look forward to in season 2 as well. I know I'm excited. You're pretty excited too, as well, to kind of dive into season 2 here, right?
Yes, sir. Very excited. I mean, looking back on it, I mean, it was only a few months ago. I mean, what, 6 months maybe, to where we decided, hey, let's do a podcast. I think that's like our best way. When you mention like, let's start this brand, I think the best way to do it is to get on the mic and just start recording and drop podcasts and see where it goes, and to see how fast it's grown to where we are today. Just thinking about like the first 4 episodes that we did, to not knowing what the hell we are doing, to still not knowing what the hell we are doing, but to come like down this road, to meet the people we have met, and in person, virtually, on Instagram, Twitter, like, you name it, it's just, that's one of the best things about it. It's just growing the community in that aspect and that's like kind of pretty much why we did it, is just to hear people's stories.
I mean, and
just
shout
to tell
out
our story.
Shout out to every single person who said, yeah, you know what? I'll sit down with these guys. I'll sit down and chop it up for an hour and see what they're made of. A lot of people on our earliest episodes, they had no reason to sit down with us. They had no kind of, oh, this is what these guys do. This is what they're good at, telling stories, telling our side of the golf industry. And I mean, just to pick it up from the start, we had kind of one of my good buddies, Isaiah, obviously, who's been on the show with us from the jump as well. He convinced his good buddy, college roommate Mickey Demorat, to come on the show. We've had him on a couple times. Birdie Gold, Jennifer Arrington hopped on the show with us. Some head pros along the way. Then we sat down with Anthony Mulkey, your hometown guy in Golf Drawn at the PGA show. The fact that we got into the PGA show alone was kind of a great Kickstarter for us. Jeff Mussini, Slope Grade, and I mean, all the way from those guys, Pat Webster, the caddy out at Pinehurst, Nathan Schroeder, CEO of Empathy Wines, and just to kind of like go through all these people. I mean, it's just amazing to me looking back on it. Ethan Smith, pro golfer, the Barstool Classic champions, Trent Fells, Colton Heisey, PGA Tour caddy. I mean, shoot, man, looking back on it now and kind of just going through all these episodes, getting us to episode and what was ending up our season 1, episode 63, bringing the heat and the recap of the member guest month. It's been one hell of a ride, and I'm so stoked to see what season 2 holds.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think behind the scenes of the stuff we got coming, stuff we got planned, people we're going to, interview, who we're in hopes to interview, to eventually getting both of us in the same area on video, collabing. It's going to be a fun season. So I'm excited for this road to take. Hopefully down the stretch, things start calming down and we can get back to really doing what we really love about this. And that, again, is just kind of bringing the golf community together and just, opening new doors and hearing new stories and just meeting new people, man. I mean, that's what golf's about. I mean, we said it before. How many sports do you play where you can just show up and get randomly thrown in with like 3 other like different golfers, and then at the end of the day you're exchanging numbers, and now you have a new person or group of guys or girls to then go out and play golf with?
Oh, absolutely. And just the kind of stuff that we have down the pipeline, like you said, is exciting. And, I kind of want to let our listeners in on our first kind of immediate giveaway, partnership, collaboration, bringing the, kind of niche markets together in this industry is with Tyler's Golf Bags. Those who follow us so far have probably seen our post and collab with Tyler and the golf bags that he did for us, the Sunday carry bags. Let's dive into those for a minute, because I just want to talk about the overall craftsmanship of these bags, the ingenuity of these bags, and just kind of the overall high quality of these bags, and why we're so excited to partner up with these guys, or I should just say Tyler in general at Tyler's Golf Bags, and Trevor Larson. Shout out to him for picking up some design work for him as well. The greenskeeper from out in the California area, hoping to make a return on the East Coast. He was kind of saying his next destination might be close to us, whether it's in Philly or Virginia or even the Carolinas. He might be moving back to us, but shout out to him for kind of designing our bags and putting some nice flair with Tyler on these bags. So super excited to be doing this giveaway. As the guys and ladies that follow us have seen. If you guys don't follow us, first off, this is how we're going to do the giveaway, and we're going to give it away Labor Day weekend. If you follow us at Enjoy the Walk Pod, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, we're going to throw out some posts. You guys interact with those posts. Let us know, just follow along with those posts. You'll see when we give out that giveaway information and how to enter and get entered. But what's basically going to happen is it's not a true giveaway per se. It's going to be an auction off of this bag. And what's so special to us is it's our logos sublimated on this bag with Tyler's Golf Bags logos on the bag as well. From the buttons, the zippers, the bottom of the bag embossed in the leather. This bag is one of a kind. It's going to be one of one to the fans. There's going to be no other fans from Enjoy the Walk that get their hands on this other than one person. So that's what makes it so special and why we're auctioning it off. Dante and I have had kind of over this little summer break we took, had the opportunity to carry this bag a lot. Dante had a little 9-hole muni, which I'm sure you'll get into here in a bit, but myself and actually the club championship that I just played in this past weekend. And when I say it was one of these seamless like transitions out of my old college bag into this Sunday carry bag, and to carry it for 2 rounds, especially when it was just ridiculously hot this past weekend, it was an absolute pleasure to carry. And I'm sure, let's get into it, man. You carry this thing around at your little muni up in the, I think, what was it? The Great Lakes of New York.
I was in the Adirondack Mountains.
Boy, what a place.
In a town called, I think it was called Clifton Fine town. And like the lake was called Star Lake. And I'm telling you, if you Google Star Lake there, I think there's only 800 people in the town. I mean, the nearest Walmart or major shopping centers, if you need any type of necessity or food or whatever, is 45 minutes east or west. So that just, and Canada was about, the border of Canada was about an hour away. So that just shows how north I was, in the middle of nowhere, peace and quiet, just kind of had, just had to get away.
So you were closer to another country than you almost were to like food, water, beverage.
Pretty much.
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, there was like one main road, and then there was a gas station up the road, and just houses kind of just spread in the woods, because apparently they have this law up there where you can't knock down trees in order to kind of like make land to build homes. You kind of have to build homes in hopes like in between trees. So you see a lot of these homes, these houses, just like, is that a house? And it's just stuffed in the behind all these trees, which was like really neat to see. I mean, you want to talk about crystal clear water. I mean, you can see the bottom of the lake at like 12 feet until it started really getting a little too deep to where you couldn't see. It was just that clear. Air was fresh. We were up elevation. It was just gorgeous. I mean, absolutely gorgeous.
I've only taken that trip up to the Adirondacks once. It was when I was like a sophomore or junior in college. A group of us went up there to one of the girls' dad's or family's lake houses, and even my experience there, it was pretty cold when we went up. So we spent most of the time either in the hot tub or just inside by the fire, just kind of hanging out, playing cards or whatever. But even still, I remember, man, one of like the afternoons we walked out on the lake on like to the dock. And I think the cold of like, fall or winter, it was still so crystal clear. And it was like, this is like serenity, man. This is where like all of nature just comes together and is just like divine. So it was cool. Some of the pictures you were sending me were awesome, and some of the pictures I saw you post on Facebook, just you could tell you were out there almost in like another world. And I think, kind of to piggyback off of that, this otherworldly mentality seemed to carry over into the golf side of things at this little Muni.
Yes, sir. And it's funny because so I was with my girlfriend and her family. They own a few properties up there. They have a large family, so they have about like 3 or 4 houses. So right where their house was, you walk up the road, make a right, and then you come up to the main road, and right across the street is a golf course, aka the Clifton Fine Municipal Golf Course. And I said, this is fantastic. So my girlfriend Kirsten, she goes, "You bring in the clubs?" I said, "It's bear shit in the woods." It's like, absolutely. And she goes, "Yeah, do it." I'm like, whoa, okay, sure. So it's 9 holes. It's about, if you were to go play 18 holes of it, it's just under like 6,000 yards.
Mhm.
So it's still a decent golf course. It's not like a short course. I mean, it's a par 36. So you're playing some true golf. So I was like, what better than to bring the Tyler golf bags now that I can finally carry it. I mean, I had it, but I was just a member guest, and they were just constantly strapped up in the cart because it was just either too hot or just the courses were not meant for walking. Anyway, so I bring it up there, and before I get into the bag on how to carry the golf, on how easy it was to carry it. Dude, this golf course was sick. And let's face it, the Adirondack Mountains, you're probably not thinking a golf town or you're going to go to the Adirondack Mountains to play golf. But let me tell you what, this course was for a municipal golf course, and kind of small town it is, and probably the money that they get and probably the traffic that they get from either locals and out of staters was in phenomenal condition. When you think New York, when I think New York, I think New York City, Long Island, right? There's phenomenal high-end golf courses on Long Island. I mean, there's major championships. I got Bethpage Black, for example, right in the middle of Long Island, New York. When I think New York, that's what I think of. I don't think straight up country, mountain-esque, kind of native land, right? So I'm not really thinking much of it. Oh, they have golf? Really? I'm thinking more of these people are hunters, fishers, and just kind of ice fishers, you name it, winter people, right? They love the cold because it's probably cold 7 months out of the year more than anywhere else.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, walk across the street. The conditions were actually phenomenal for what the course was. The greens were green as can be. They rolled like true. They were slow, which I can kind of understand because it's on the side of a mountain and there's probably more ice and snow on top of the turf that you probably want to keep it a little longer so you're not killing it when it starts to get nice.
Makes
and
sense.
whatnot. Rough was there. Fairways are a little long, but then again, I mean, you're on the side of the mountain. I'm telling you, you can see like rocks coming out of the ground, like stones. But dude, here's the best part of the course. They're open. The clubhouse opens 9 to 5. So they're saying they're open 9 to 5. They're like regular business hours. It's like, okay. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go in the morning and see what's good. So I get there and it looks closed, and I said, crap. I left it set. I went to go play for like 7:30. So if I play 9 holes, I can get done in like an hour and 15. Be back for breakfast, start the day. So I end up going across the street, walk there because it's across the street, which was great. So I had the bag strapped to my shoulder. I see the greenskeeper. So shout out to Gary. Gary and I were talking. I said, "Are you guys closed?" He goes, "Well, we don't have someone come in until 9." And I said, "Oh." He goes, "But we do have this honor system that we implemented. There's a box over there. You can just go right ahead. It says what you need to do, the instructions, like basically the cost to play. Just drop it in the box and you just play at will." He goes, "The only thing I can't really let you get is a cart." I said, That's fine. Or enjoy the walk. Why would I want a cart?
Love it.
So I'm like, you gotta be kidding. So I walk over, I look at this drop box, $10 to play 9 holes. So are you kidding me? He's like, yeah, just go out, have fun. It's like, okay. Drop $10 in the box. Because he was like, we really appreciate your the business because small town, not too many people, so they're probably not getting much play.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever money they can possibly get, more, it allows them to put more projects into the golf course. Anyway, tee it up. I got Tyler golf bags with me, and let me tell you what, I felt like I was not carrying a golf bag. That's how light the damn thing is. I mean, it is absolutely. I mean, this is basically the Sunday carry bag that I've been looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I have another one, it's just a little too bulky, and I've tried like the double straps of like some other higher major brands, and it just didn't go my way. And let me tell you what, yeah, you just throw that on the shoulder and you're going.
Dude,
I mean,
it was crazy to me. It was crazy to me because I carried this ping hoofer forever, and I know you had a ping bag, I think, as well, with the Running Deer logo on. Before you made the switch over to the Sunday carry, and they're each in their own right. Obviously, you're not going to carry a Sunday carry 100% of the time. Sometimes a stand bag's nice just to throw it around and be a little different of a vibe. But for a Sunday carry bag, I was shocked at how easy the transition was. The 14 clubs is not even an issue. Most Sunday carries, sometimes you're like maybe at like a max at like 10, and then you're like, damn, 11, 12, 13, 14 is getting a little, sticky in there to shove the rest of them in, and this bag made the transition so easy. And in both rounds that I played, even in the club championship where I was using all 14 clubs because we played it from all the way back, I never found an issue of trying to, just tug clubs out of there or put them back in. Like, it was just a pleasure to carry from start to finish.
Oh, no doubt. And it's got a pretty nice balance to it where if you just sit it just right on your shoulder, I mean, it's an armrest and you just roll with it. I mean, the way the bag hits up, because it's almost like the opening is like beveled a little bit, kind of like opened out to where the clubs just sit flat. As if they're not trying to like fall out or they're just floating. I mean, they are where the weight just carries and lands at the bottom.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, talking about the bevel of the bag, man, it's crazy because like when I first got it, and I'll be honest, this was maybe my own doing and not really understanding the bag, but I reached out to Trevor Larson and said, dude, what's the deal with this strap? Because I was having some issues with the strap, like understanding how it fit, because there's kind of like a belt strap on one end and like a clip on the other. And the belt strap's where you can kind of like tighten it or loosen it to make it fit your shoulder. And I just didn't have it fit right off the start. I tightened it way too tight. The bag was kind of almost like dumping the clubs out when I first, got it. So it took me a little while to get the bag fit for me. But after I figured it out a little bit, dude, and got it comfortable, I put it in the I think second from last hole, so it's nice and loose and hangs off my arms nice, dude. And I'm telling you what, from the minute I finally figured it out, it is so easy to sling on your shoulder and just walk for miles, and you don't even think twice about it.
Yep, couldn't agree. I mean, the only weight that you feel is the clubs itself. So it's just your clubs. So
now I got to ask you, what's the rest of your setup look like? Because like Tyler's golf bags, for those who don't know, he's got kind of like one central pocket, which has our Enjoy the Walk logo on it with the 2 clubs, kind of like directly, I guess you would say, top over on your bags. For those who are maybe watching us on YouTube and not on the podcast, Dante's pulling this bag up, on his screen to take a look at. So right there, that pocket I was talking about, it's kind of like, Dante, wouldn't you say like the central main pocket? It's got a little mesh. It's got a little mesh holder, which I use for a water bottle holder. But then I also put my gloves in there. But like, what does your setup look like for this thing? Because I'm interested to see how you packed it all in together.
All right. So this is the main pocket, right? So this is like your main. If you were looking at a stand bag, that's like where your logo is for like any of like the pings out there. That's like, I guess you can say the ball pouch.
Mm-hmm.
This is your main pocket, right? So in this pocket, what do I have in here? I got my pouch It's a tea pouch. It's got all my kind of or valuable pouch, which is what do I have in there? I have a Sharpie. I have a little like ball mark thingy. I got teas. I have divot repair. I have ball markers. I think I said that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have what else do I have? I have my CBD gummies because we all know how much of a head case I am when it comes to competitive
Because
golf.
CBD and Dante on a golf course go hand in hand.
Very well. So I pretty much have like all my essentials in there, and then I have my EpiPen because apparently I'm allergic to bees.
Oh Lord.
And then I have my
little driver wrench.
and then I have balls, and that's like literally it. And I think if I carry a water bottle, it's going in there as well.
I put my water bottle out on that mesh patch, but then
Yeah.
I'm interested, what goes in the snap pocket for you on the other side? Because there's this really neat little like white snap over pocket on the other side, and I'm interested to see what the hell you stuff in there.
Yeah, so it's a bag of my gloves. It's all my gloves. I like to keep my
Ziploc
gloves
baggie full of gloves.
in a Ziploc bag. That's what's in there. Dude, I mean, let me put this down.
Phenomenal podcast etiquette we're having right now, but you know what? It needed to be had. Go over and check out our YouTube page. Enjoy the Walk podcast on YouTube, and go see that bag. Go see what we're checking out, and go check out this Tyler's golf bag for yourself. Because as we put it up to the camera, you guys can see personally how great this bag's made, and the kind of I would almost say precision in which all this sublimation has been done on it. Because each logo looks phenomenal.
Yeah, well. To go off of that, before I get into sublimation and how much I'm a huge fan of it, we'll get in that second. But I did have this tin. So I used to have this tin where I kept like my battery for my rangefinder. I kept kind of like face wipes, Band-Aids, Neosporin. Well, that, and it's actually Harbor Tan, I think. It's like, I mean, this thing looks like it was made in the 70s. It's an old tin can. I don't even know where it is. Well, I put it in that big pocket. Well, let's just say that big pocket somehow decided to rise to the top, and everything else decided to just sink to the bottom. So it was filled to the brim, and I just couldn't get anything. Well, I took that out, got this tea pouch, and just kind of condensed it and made sure whatever I need is in that tea pouch, and then it's just the stuff that I set in there. And yeah, I like that tin can,
so
but
I am so opposite, dude. I'm so opposite of the way you pack that bag. It's not even funny, and I'm so glad you just went through that because I'm the opposite. So I have all my gloves still in the original packaging. Shout out Asher Golf. They come with those little like resealable bags to keep your gloves in. So I've got all my gloves in those bags. I've got a couple of the brand new tour issue Callaway gloves from the member guest I just played in that are in like the tall like plastic containers, the gloves come in.
Yeah.
So they didn't fit on that side pocket. So I put them in the really tall kind of central pocket along with my valuables pouch. I did match you there, which I'll get into a little later. I moved that valuables pouch, and I think you'll appreciate where I put it. But then, like I said, I was using the central mesh pocket as kind of I got this nice tall, thin tumbler that I use that keeps ice cold forever, that just fits perfectly in that mesh pocket. And then I actually put my balls in the side pocket, in the snap pocket. Now, here's a hack, because I know what you're going to say. How the hell do they stay in there, right?
Yeah.
Well, because I keep them in the plastic boxes. You can't have balls in that side pocket just roaming around. You got to have fresh sleeves to keep them in that side pocket, or they're going to just fall out everywhere.
Well, the tin was too round for the depth of the pocket, so I couldn't button anything. So I don't know what's going to go in there, because everything will just move around and fall out, because it's just two buttons on the opposite end, so it actually leaves space as stuff can fall. But my gloves fit perfectly in there, so the plastic bag, I was like, all right, there. So that makes sense. Keep the balls in the sleeves, and you can maneuver it that way. Because I'm
small
sitting
hack.
there trying to, small hack. But you have to be a minimalist. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
to carry absolutely nothing in order
Well,
to
so
really.
I carried 6 balls tops,
Yeah.
2 sleeves, and then that other, in the snap button pocket there, I also kept just like my keys, my wallet, whatever. And then where I told you I moved my valuables pouch, so it was so freaking hot this weekend that I actually stuffed in a couple extra gloves and some rain gloves because I was just sweating profusely both days, that I actually had no more room for the valuables pouch. So my valuables pouch has this like, string that you can tighten it with and loosen
Yep.
it with. So what I did was I opened up the valuables pouch all the way, strung it through one of the loops up by the neck of where like the kind of towel ring is. And I looped my valuables pouch around that. So now I have
I
my
don't think that's
valuables
a towel
pouch.
ring.
Well, it's a little ring where you attach your towels and stuff like
It's
that.
a it's a umbrella ring. Have you noticed that?
No way. There's no other tab down on the other bottom of
Yeah,
the
there
bag
is.
for it. Is there? Am I
Yes.
missing a feature of Tyler's golf bags without even thinking about it?
Yes.
What?
Yep.
Oh my
I
God.
Yeah. It's yeah. Check it out when you bring the bag up. And just look straight
Wow.
down.
All right.
From like the leather bottom. It's a little like stitched on piece where you can
Well,
just
shout
slide
out
the.
unhidden
Yep.
feature to Tyler's golf bags. He's got an umbrella holder. That's pretty nifty.
But I can see where that buckle can be a nice towel loop.
It became a valuables pouch loop for me because I just throw my towel over my my clubs.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
actually, little life hack here too. The towel that we have is so long, like the tour towel, that I actually just kind of looped it around the top where the strap hangs into the bag. And then so I had this little knot up there with like a 1.5 foot towel on the left side, and I wet the towel on the right side. So I had a wet towel on the right, dry towel on the left, and it worked pretty solid for me all weekend. But I'm telling you
Nice.
what, that's the best thing about Sunday bags, dude. Everyone sets theirs up differently. And there's cool little nicks and knacks here or there to get the most out of however you want your Sunday bag to set up. And that's my personal favorite about any Sunday bag, but especially Tyler's golf bags, because there's so many ways to use it.
Oh, no doubt. And that's the funny thing because I like to keep very little in my bag because obviously we like to walk. I like to walk, so I like to have. And I've used push carts before. Don't get me wrong. I love using push carts. I love finding different ways on how to walk. But I've noticed sometimes the easiest ways to walk is just to throw it on the back, throw it on the shoulder, or throw it on the back. But I want it completely light to where the only weight are the clubs. So I had to condense a little bit more of what I had in my bag in order to still have room for the Tyler golf bag because you can't just have crud. Because I know some of my friends talked about how they cleaned their bag and they were just finding all this crap everywhere. They're like, wow, because my one friend was telling me how he got a new bag but got a smaller one and cleaned out his bag and realized how much just crap that he had in his bag. So you got to make sure that no crap or crud. You got to make sure everything gets filled perfectly.
I'll tell you, and I don't know about you, but this is just my kind of like oops moment all the time. I eat a ton of granola bars, and I put especially Nature Valleys that are, notoriously messy as shit. I put the wrapper that still has a little bit of Nature Valley like crumble in my back in my bag. And then at the end of like the summer, after like 87 Nature Valley bars, there's just one pocket in my bag that I have to go like vacuum out because there's so much shit in it. I see that very quickly happening to a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I can see that. And the only thing that I see problems with is I was having trouble with like where am I going to fit a water bottle? How big of a water bottle can I possibly bring with me, especially on hot days? And food, because you want to stay hydrated and you want to keep food in your system because you're out there for a while. So I'm sitting there like, wow, what am I going to bring? So I think I'm going to start taking either like maybe like one Nature Valley bar or get those dried fruit and nuts mix because I seen that like it seems like that's really good to take, just like kind of like a little pouch there, and that can fit in small spaces.
I'll tell you what.
That's the only thing that I am concerned with, because if you're one who likes to take a lot of liquids, whether it's beer or water or any other type of alcoholic or whatever beverage you like to drink on the course, or you like to take a lot of food, you're going to be limited to what you can carry.
I tell you what has been a fan favorite of mine, because they're no mess, they're small, skinny, they fit in bags well. The Quest nutrition bars. They're a little more expensive than like your normal granola bar or whatever, but they pack a ton of protein, a lot of healthy nutrients and everything inside of them. And like I said, they're no mess. And you're actually supposed to warm them up, so the hotter they get in their bag, the better they are. So
Really?
yeah, they're a phenomenal kind of, I just think, like, food source when you're out there. I've only kind of been on to them here the last couple weeks, but every time I eat one during a round, it just feels like I get like an immediate boost, and not just like a, kind of prolonged, like, lethargic after you eat, especially like if you eat a hot dog at the turn or some shit like that. Like, yeah, I love these Quest nutrition bars, but I just think they fit in your golf bag well and don't make a mess. But I'm also a huge fan of like the fresh fruit, dried fruit trail mix and stuff like that. Big fan of that as well.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that, and then obviously you got to throw a couple pieces of candy to get that sugar fix. Throw some high chews.
A little high chew action,
Yeah,
baby. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Now, you did mention something there, which I love, and I was texting back and forth with Tyler, who makes the bags. I was texting back and forth with him about this a little bit, and I said, hey, because I went out to Lighthouse Sound the other night before the club championship, brought a couple natter days with me, wanted to, fit 2 or 3 in the golf bag, and they fit in that side pocket, but the pocket wouldn't close. So I messaged him right away. I said, Tyler, listen, bags are great. There's just one glaring issue. There's nowhere to keep a couple cans or nowhere to keep a good mixed drink. I said, you got to fix that on version 2 or version 3. And he says, oh, buddy, way ahead of you. That's the next kind of big promotion item. So, maybe I shouldn't be spilling the beans, because he's probably got some marketing involved in what he's doing. But Tyler's Golf Bags is so close to having the perfect carry bag for a couple cans or mixed drinks as well. And I think he's got something down the pipeline to fix that issue, because it would be a great kind of, additional piece into what is already a phenomenal Sunday carry bag.
Oh, no doubt. And going back to carry bags or whatever, especially Sunday carry bags, you have to carry the right amount, because you're going to be limited in space. And, that's like the battle that you're going to go with bags. There's bags out there that have all the space in the world, but they're absolutely massive and you can't carry them. And it's like, there's a fine line, but I think Tyler Golf Bags is finding that in between.
Well, and I think the best thing is, man, like, from what he's released to the public and what's on his page, we've got version 2 out of like ever for him. So he's only going to keep getting better. He's only going to keep tweaking things to make it better, to make it, he's got the full leather bags now. That wasn't an option when we even ordered. So to be coming out with full leather bags, I know he's got some stuff down the pipeline as far as a little bit more structured bags for guys who like a little bit more kind of, sturdiness to their bags. But man, I'm telling you, his bags are around to stay for a while. And I think it's obvious in the way that just these things have caught on like wildfire. And I'm so happy to see a guy that's our age in the industry making waves and just, kind of just taking over a niche that's becoming kind of mainstream within the golf industry here lately.
No doubt. And, I've been to 3 or 4 different golf courses with the bag, and people are like, that is sick. And the one kid Cole, that, because I was at Ronnie Deer earlier, getting some holes in, cart kid, he goes, I'm not one for Sunday bags, but that thing is sick.
I walked off the 18th tee at my club championship after playing like absolute garbage, and a guy that was kind of, right in the mix with us as well. He ended up losing in a playoff, but he comes up to me afterwards. He says, man, he said, way to grind out there, this, that, the other. He said, but man, I got to ask you, what is that bag? Like, what are you carrying? And he's headed up to a huge buddies trip with a bunch of ex-college roommates. I think he was in a big frat or wherever he was, but he asked me, he goes, how do I get a hold of one of those? I told him about what we're doing, giving away a bag in September. He goes, no, I got to go on a trip at the end of August. He's like, I need it now. So I put him in contact with Tyler directly, and he's getting a sweet 1-of-1 bag made for a trip up to Bandon. So, I mean, it's stuff like that, man. It's just like he's going to have that bag to remember a trip of a lifetime with, and that's going to end up becoming the bag of a lifetime. And I know that's what these bags became for us. The minute we got them, when we got our hands on them, we kind of immediately just like acknowledged to each other, hey, you know, whatever we do with these bags, there's going to be phenomenal stories around it, no matter where we carry them, how we carry them. As long as we have these bags in our hands, there's going to be some phenomenal stories attached to them.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, it's just, if you have limited trunk space, get one of these bags, because
even if you don't, clear out the trunk and admire the space that Tyler's golf bag doesn't carry. But that's it about that, man. No free ads, but all kinds of free ads, because we love these bags and they're something special. So, guys, be on the lookout. Like I said, again, we're gonna set that bag up for auction on Labor Day weekend. So be on the lookout for that. We'll be posting all kinds of stuff from Dante's time up in the Adirondacks and the Cary pictures he got from up there. Some more of my pictures from around the Eastern Shore area here. And just anywhere, shape, or form that we get to take pictures of this bag anyway, anyhow, I think we're going to post them. So be on the lookout for that, guys. And I think that's it for us this week, man. That's a recap. That's a season 2, episode 1, back in the house. Here we are. Hope you enjoy.
That's the stuff. One shot at a